What else is hard about gaining a healthy relationship with food? Not knowing what's right and wrong. I've been doing some looking into obsessive compulsive disorder recently, and there I was finding out that one of the main challenges with having OCD is not knowing what is a real threat and what is OCD, should we call it, and how to distinguish between the two. And it really made me think of the process of gaining a healthy relationship with food, because there are no rules with a healthy relationship with food to follow. There is no black and white. There is no right or wrong thing to eat in a particular moment. And so as someone tries to gain a healthy relationship with food, they are typically trying to figure out what's the right thing to do and what's the wrong thing to do on their journey. And they want that clearly defined for obvious reasons, because they're already nervous about being on the journey. So in my process, in my program, we essentially, in a nutshell, replace rules with gaining a really good intuitive understanding of what is the self-care thing to do in any given moment. Because if an individual could only do the self-caring thing when it comes to how they eat and how they think about food and how they use food, they essentially would then have a healthy relationship with food, because it means they could strike an amazing balance between nourishing their body and not emotionally eating, and being flexible at the same time, being able to enjoy food, all kind of wrapped up into this wonderful balance, which is a healthy relationship with food. But that can be a really challenging thing to do at the start without experience. I mean, it just brings up all of these questions of, well, I don't know, and there's second guessing going on. Is it an act of self-care to eat a chocolate bar right now, or is that not self-care because I'm going to eat in half an hour? And it can be really, really confusing. And of course, in that stress, it can seem like a really good idea, a really safe idea, a really comforting idea of, I'll just go back on an eating plan, I'll go back to a diet, I know where I stand with that. I think this is one of the main reasons why it can take a lot of goes to get a healthy relationship with food, especially if we're doing it on our own. I can certainly attest to this, because the temptation can really be there to try to take a healthy relationship with food, or the intuitive eating thing, right, and create a new set of rules, because that's what's familiar, it kind of makes sense logically. And then what can really easily happen is someone creates these new sets of rules. They're like, hey, I understand this intuitive eating thing, I understand this healthy relationship with food thing, and then inevitably they then break one of these perceived rules, and then they start thinking, oh, I'm not capable of having a healthy relationship with food. And that's why I really warn against this idea of going on the healthy relationship with food diet, or going on the intuitive eating diet, because taking this approach not only isn't having a healthy relationship with food, because part of having a healthy relationship with food is not having rules and being flexible, but it also can be really damaging and dangerous, to be honest, because it can start to create the narrative, just like with dieting, of I'm a failure at this, or I'm not capable of having a healthy relationship with food. And that absolutely isn't the case. And that's why I spend a lot of time in my process sort of outlining or putting, defining what a healthy relationship with food is and what it kind of looks like, and to break it down to give something for women to hold on to. And then we go through how to replace this rule-bound thinking and black and white thinking with flexibility and sort of like oscillating around these guidelines. For instance, eating when hungry and stopping when full is a big part of having a healthy relationship with food to a degree. But if we say I only eat when I'm hungry and I always stop when I'm full, now we don't have a healthy relationship with food, and now we're on the hunger fullness diet, right? So to summarize, another big challenge with gaining a healthy relationship with food is if it hasn't been broken down and sort of defined for you, so you can sort of see it, like the tangible things that you're working towards, and not being experienced with the skills of flexibility and leading from a place of self-care. If you want to learn more about what I've discussed today, then you can check out the links in the description. There's lots of stuff down there that can help. Hi lovelies! I'm sure that you're all very busy enjoying the holidays. I wanted to hop on with this announcement because I think that it's relevant to mention this now. Me and my team have been working exceptionally hard to reopen enrollment for the Binge to Balance program on December 31st in time for New Year's. The Binge to Balance program is for anyone that is yo-yo dieting, binge eating, food obsessed, emotionally eating, struggling with disordered eating and is basically sick of it and they would like to have a normal and healthy relationship with food. For the first time ever, we're putting the program on sale as kind of a you to January diets, to be honest. So if you're interested in that or you're curious about it, then I've got some things that you can get your teeth stuck into over the holiday season if you want to. I have decided to make 8 lessons from module 1 of the program available to everyone who also wants to say you to January diets and wants to gain a healthy relationship with food in 2024, and that's their goal. Those lessons will be available to anyone who just wants to get the best start possible on that journey. If you want to check those out, then just head to the description, follow the link. You'll see that the lessons are all locked. To unlock them, simply watch the introductory video, which will take you through an overview of the process that I use to see if you resonate with my approach. And also, those lessons will only make sense if you understand an overview of the entire process. And if you decide that you want to enroll into the Binge to Balance program, then the doors will be opening on December 31st. Happy holidays!